In this video, I'm going to show you how you can set up custom tracking for your Framer landing page using PostHog. Now, we can use this to set up more custom events like CTA clicks, form field, and other custom events that you would like to track on your Framer website, particularly if you want to create deeper analytics for your Framer website. So once you have your Framer website ready, the first thing you want to do is you definitely have your PostHog project already set up, and you want to go in and get in your HTML snippets to add into Framer. So this is your HTML snippet right here. You want to copy this code, this particular code inside here, and then go back to Framer. So you go into settings and then you go down to code. So inside code here, you can now add your custom code right here. So what you do is you can just give your code a name, PostHog tracker, and then you're going to place it at the end of head, right? Leave this as all and leave this as ones. Then you paste your snippets inside here and then you add it. So I have this here, PostHog tracker. This was what I just added right here, right? So I'm going to disable my previous code and then publish it. So once you've put that in, you publish your Framer site, and the moment you publish it, you can check it out and you already have your event firing into PostHog. So you can go back to PostHog and then go into activity and simply just check out the live events. So inside here, we should see one connected source. Right, so let's wait for this to finish loading. Let's load it again. So inside here now we can see our traffic, one recently online, and we can see we have a simple page view. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to set up custom tracking for our elements inside here, and we want to set up 3 events. We want to set up CTA clicks, form field, and scroll depth event. So we can go back to our Framer app and then go back to your canvas. So inside your canvas, you want to select the particular elements that you want to put custom tracking on. So the first we are going to do is explore rows, and we are going to set this as a CTA click. So once you select that particular element, you want to ensure you're selecting only that one and not a group. So make sure you're selecting that element, and you can check inside here. You go to your style. So inside style, you want to go into code overrides. Now, the moment you go into code overrides, you click this plus button right here. And then once this plus button comes up, you're going to select a file inside here. Now, once you're selecting, yours is not going to have any file inside here. You're going to click on new file, right? You click on new file and then you select new file. So you're going to select new override and not new components. Then you give it a name and you click on create. The moment you create, you'll be forwarded to this boiler template code inside here. We are going to change this. We are going to change this to the code that we use in tracking our custom clicks events. If you go to PostHog documentation to get the snippets for installing custom events on your Framer website, you can just go over to libraries, frameworks, and search for PostHog, or rather search for Framer. So here's Framer. And we want to install, we've installed that on Framer, and we want to want to capture custom events. So here's the code that you're going to use. So here's the code that you're going to use for capturing that custom event. Here's the code that you would see for capturing a custom event, but we are not going to use this particular code. What you're going to do is you could just meet AI to generate a custom event code for you. And then once you generate that code, you're going to paste it inside here. The reason why is if you use this particular code, inside here, it's going to give you a completely new component, right, which you don't want. It's going to give you a new component just like this button over there, right, and you don't want that. You want your custom events to be added into you want your custom event to be added into an existing component. So you're going to get ChatGPT to generate you a code plate for your custom events, and then you paste it inside here. You can do that easily with ChatGPT. So here I have the particular code that we're going to be using. The function here is with hog click, right? With hog click, and then here's our event that PostHog is capturing. So it says here capture CTA click. You can name this to any events that you want, but in this case we're using CTA click, and then we are returning a property named button name. Right, so this is the name of the button that is right inside. This is the name of the button of the elements that we are clicking. so that we'll know what button that was clicked. So this is our function over here. Back in the code overrides, you're going to select this particular code. You're going to select the file that you created, so which is this, the name of the file. Once you select the name of the file, inside here, you're going to select the name of the function within that file. So if you check inside here, you can see the name of the function, which is PostHog click. Whatever function yours is named after is what you select inside there, and then you save your file, and then you go back there. So the moment you go back, you can now publish your site again, update your site again, and you would see your live events going inside PostHog. So if you go into our site and then go into PostHog, and then you can click on your button, so we'll see the event inside here. So you can see it here, CTA click events, right? If you go into events and you wait for that particular event to load up, you would see the properties inside here also. So this is your CTA clicked event, and you can see your properties, button name, explore rows. So we are going to repeat this for the remaining two. We're going to repeat this for the remaining two buttons in Framer. So let's go back to Framer. You're going to select higher talents also, or whatever button that is that you want to select as CTA. So the same thing with the second button or any other button you want to select. You go into the code overrides, you create your file, you select the same code file that you've already used before, which is PostHog, and inside that PostHog, you're going to select the same function, right? If you want to select it, you could save your file, you could publish your file and go and check it. And then lastly, I added it to this button over here, which is register. So once they click on register, it takes them to a form to fill up, which could be a sign up, a registration. So let's go and check that out. So here's the form that they are going to fill the moment they click on register. And you're going to put your custom events on this submit button. So as always, you select this submit button, and then you go down to code overrides and then select your file or your code. So the moment you select PostHog, you're not going to use PostHog click, right? Because that is not the name of the event that we want to be sending. What you want to do is you want to create a new event within that file and use that new event. So you can click on edit code and then get ChatGPT to generate you the needed function that you need to track that event. So over here, you can see we have our second function, which is with form submits, and the name of the event is form submitted. So as always, you can now save your file and then go back into your contacts and then go back to your page and publish your website. Once that is done, you can go ahead and test your events and click on the buttons that is needed. So let's click on register and fill up the form, and then you can submit. So back in PostHog, you can see your custom events here. You can see your CTA clicked, and for explore rows, for register, and then your form submitted events. The final event we want to track is our user scroll depth. We want to know how far in your landing page that they scrolled in. So back in Framer, what you're going to do is you're going to go back into your home page, and you ensure that you're not selecting any particular elements, right? You can go into layers, and inside layers, just click on your entire page element. So this is your full page element, and you want to set that custom code on this particular element. So as usual, inside here, just go down, inside your style tab, you go down to your code overrides. Just like before, you want to use ChatGPT to generate you the code that you use in tracking user scroll depth on your website. So inside here, you create a new file, also new override, and then you give the file a name. So if you go into assets, you can see your code inside here. You can see all the files that you created inside here. And I've created mine, which is called scroll depth, right? So you can click on edit code, and then inside your file, you're going to put in the code that ChatGPT gave you, right? So this tracks movements at 25% of your page, 50%, 75%, and 95%. So once you save that and you click on home, if you want to test it in the browser to see how it's going to fire, you can just go down here. You can go down right inside the function. So this right here is the function, handle scroll function. You can go inside here and add a small code inside. This will display the scroll depth directly inside your browser console. So you save your file, and then you go and publish it. You publish your site. Here we are on the home page. You can click on your menu bar and go to more tools and then click on developer tools. So inside here you would see your console open by the right hand side, and then you can scroll down. So you can see as we are scrolling and reach a particular mark, you would see the percentage that will cross pop up in the console. So if we keep on scrolling down, we reach 50, 75 and 95, right? So this gives you scroll depth inside of your landing page. So back in PostHog, you can see all your scroll depth events, and you can check them to confirm it is the right event. And that is all in setting up custom events in Framer using PostHog.